I feel like rage games are less prevalent than they have been in the last few years. Growing up, I remember my YouTube feed just being flooded with all these different Let's Players racing to give the most over the top reaction they could muster to getting over it or unfair Mario. However, looking for rage games nowadays, most of what I could find was either popular rage games of the past or not even really rage games. I mean, come on, Celeste, it's not a rage game. But of course, as the French say, nothing is ever really dead in the land of itch.io. Trees Hate You is a game by Taiken. It's currently only a demo for what is to come, which from what I've played, makes me a little bit fearful of the inner machinations of their twisted mind. This is normally the point at which I give a rundown of the game and its premise, but I thought I would present the game to you as I experienced it because I was smart enough to not read the description before I played the game. The first thing I noticed upon starting the game was that I was allowed to make my own character, with some actually pretty extensive customization options. Eventually I settled on making a little goblin man, having no idea what I was about to subject him to. As soon as I loaded into the game, the first thing that I noticed was how pleasant the graphics were. The fact that the game seemed to be on this pseudo-grid system, coupled with my lack of knowledge of this game's true purpose, led me to believe I might have been in for some kind of Zelda-like adventure, you know? I would just need to follow the path, and this is when it set in that I was not going to have a fun time with the game. Rather, I was going to spend the next half an hour dying to intentionally obtuse and obscure gameplay mechanics and various different tree-themed traps. Now, to the game's credit, no matter how unfair my environment got, I never felt like my actions were out of my own hands. Almost every time the game got me, it felt like a learning experience. And the few times I managed to do something correctly on the first try, it really did feel like its own small victory, only for me to be immediately punished for my hubris a few moments later. The game also isn't afraid to break its own rules just to rage bait you. Sometimes a trap will only appear after you've died a few times and you're more familiar with the route, just to shake things up a bit. There's also a few false flag traps, such as this tree which moves as though it's watching you, but in reality it does nothing, and this happens. I don't really record audio of my experience playing these games, but I wanted to give you guys, my audience, the full 2010s Let's Play YouTube experience that I think the game was trying to evoke. So here is the death compilation I've dubbed over in post, complete with peaking mic and everything. Oh, great! 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 Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, of course! Of course! Of course! I know that showing you guys the traps in a rage game is kind of like if I gave you the full synopsis of a mystery book I was recommending to you, or like a movie trailer which spoils the whole plot of the movie within its 2 or 3 minute runtime. But I think that this game took a couple of years off my life, so I'm going to share a few of the worst ones I experienced in order to prevent your untimely, stress-based demise in the real world. I think that this game is great at using video game tropes against you. For example, this sign tells you to read signs. The next sign tells you of a way to find trees. Not realizing this was an obvious trap, I pressed tab on the opening menu, and then pressed this tree-shaped button, which caused this to happen. At one point I found this path, which doubled back, eventually leading to a tree coin. Now I saw one of these earlier, and so I figured I would collect it, thinking the worst thing that could happen was that it would kill me instantly. As it turns out, that's not the worst thing that happened. The worst part is, I think that these coins do nothing. I wouldn't be surprised at this point, honestly. This is an earlier one, and editor Pitfiend has probably already shown footage of this happening at some point in the game, but the first time that a tree lunged forward at me really scared me. And as time went on, and more of them lunged at me further and quicker, it just made me really anxious when I saw them. which I suppose was the point of the game, so mission accomplished. I know that I mentioned the visuals before, and this is usually the part of the video where I praise the style of the game and its presentation, and I am going to be doing that. But there's a bit more to it than just the fact that the art is really well done. This game follows a trend I've noticed about Rage games. They like to put on this really cheery facade. Very rarely is one of these games without happy music and some kind of bright and colorful art style. I think that the reason that this is the case is because we hate to see our enemies in a good mood, and the creators of these kinds of titles know that. So when a game has a really positive atmosphere and you feel like it's giving you the middle finger the whole time you're playing it, it feels even worse because it feels as though the game is relishing in your suffering. Almost like you can imagine the developer is imagining how many people are going to break their computer over this next trap that they're implementing. Eventually, I made it to this second section after getting through the first bit. I thought I'd take a break from recording and finish the game after lunch. Unfortunately, I didn't remember to hit record as soon as I started playing again, meaning I would have to play through the game again, which I was not willing to do. So if you want to see the end of the game, play it yourself. I know I just spent the duration of this video telling you about how this game caused my hair to go grey from stress, but despite that, I really do recommend playing this game, especially if you have any interest in Rage games. It's very clear, both from the presentation and the level design, that there was a lot of love and care put into the game, and that the dev is a fan of the genre. Either that, or he just hates nature and wants you to associate it with having a bad time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the project. As always, it'll be linked in the description, and if you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe. I'm about to do a magic trick, so look at the subscribe button. I'm gonna make it glow. Subscribe. 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 I really do hope that YouTube never removes that feature, because then this video will make me look like an idiot. And if you don't want to do that, that's grand. I always appreciate comments. You don't have to do that either, but I would appreciate it. Do you have a particular Rage game that you love or hate, or is there a recent one that I don't know about? Be sure to let me know.